Most people see this blue or black terminal window and think matrix level hacking, or they think system error. But the truth is the Windows terminal is the fastest way to navigate your PC once you know how to use it and how it works. Today, I'm going to show you how to move, navigate, and search through your system, no mouse required. Now, the first thing we want to do is to open PowerShell, and I'll show you a very fast way to do it. I'll show you two ways, but there's more than one way to actually do this. The fastest way I do this is Windows R, and I hit the return key, and that was so fast that you didn't see it happen. So let me show you what I just did. If I hit Windows R, this is going to open the run, this little run window, and you'll type the name of the program you want to open. For example, if I want to open the calculator, I'll type calc, and this is going to open up the calculator real quick. What I want to do is to just run the PowerShell. So if you change this to PowerShell and you run that, it's going to open another Windows PowerShell window. So let's just go ahead and close that and close that. So another way to actually open this is to use the Windows X and then the A key. So I hit the Windows X and hit A, and then I'll hit left to click yes. This is also going to open up the terminal. So it depends on which one you want to use. Personally, I like running the PowerShell, but if you use the Windows A, Windows X and then A, it means you want to run the command shell as an administrator. It's very important, especially when you want to make changes to your PC. Now, let's go ahead and start using PowerShell. So I hit Control twice or 3 times just to make this as huge as possible. And I'll go over here and hit Control and Spacebar, or I'll just hit the maximize shell to maximize window to maximize that view. So the first thing we want to do here is to get info about our computer. So the first thing I want to do is to type a command. I'll just say get dash computer info. And if I hit the return key, this is going to get a lot of information about our PC. That's a lot of information. If I go over here and scroll up, you can actually see it's giving me a huge amount of information about our computer system. Congratulations, you've begun to hack your PC. But that's not it. So let's go ahead and narrow it down so that we just want the operating system version. So I'll go back, scroll down here, just where we have this blinking cursor, and this is where it gets interesting. So here I'll just say get dash computer info. I'll leave a little space. I'll use the symbol and I'll say select dash object, and I'll hit space. I'll say OS name, the operating system name, and comma the OS architecture. Make sure we're spelling everything right, or else it will return an error. And if I run this, it's going to run a list of commands. It's going to get that information, and it's telling us this is a Microsoft Windows 11 Pro 64-bit. Nice. So what did we just do here? We first got our computer info, but we want to use the ampersand, I believe. And then we're saying select object, and we want to return the operating system name and the architecture. That's what we did, and that's what brought out that information. So now let's take a look at how we can navigate through our system. Now in the graphical user interface, you click folders. Here you use the ls or the list and cd, or which means change directly. So think of ls as opening your eyes. So where you are is ls, and if I type ls here, it's actually telling me where I am. And if I do to pwd, it's actually looking for the present working directory. Now I am in the PC folder. That's why when I typed ls, it listed all the folders or directories there, and there are quite a lot of information here. So we can see information about our PC here. So if we want to go back a level, let's say we want to move to the desktop, we'll use the word cd, which means change directory, and we'll just say desktop, and we're at the desktop. if I hit pwd, present working directory, it tells me I'm at my PC, I'm at the desktop. And if I do ls, it's going to list information I have on desktop. And clearly you can see I have a lot of information on the desktop. So I'm just going to do, if I wanted to move one level back, I'll do cd with 2 dots, hit enter, and now I'm back to the PC. So that's how we can navigate between places. Again, I can do cd documents, and that's going to take me to the documents, right? If I press pwd, I'm in my documents directory, and it's telling me that's the path to my directory. That's where I am. Again, if I do cd ... it takes me back to the PC. All right, so what I'm going to do is to go to the desktop, and I'm going to create a folder on the desktop, right? And what we want to do is to create some items within that desktop. And to do that, we're going to use a magic word called make directory. So I'm going to say mkdir, make directory. A directory means a folder, and I'll just maximize this to make sure everyone's seeing everything we have here. So it's like quite large and nice. So mkdir means make a directory. We're making a folder, and I'll give that a name. So just say our new folder. That's the name of our directory. And what I want to do is, before I go that, once I set my new folder, I'm going to create a semicolon, which means I want to do another action. So what I want to do is to change this to that new folder I just created. So I made a new folder in my PC folder, and I want to change that to that new folder. So I'm going to say cd our new folder, just like that. So we're creating a folder and we're moving into the folder. Now in that new folder, I'll hit the semicolon again. I want to create some new items. So I'm just going to say new dash item, and let's create some nice little notepad. So I'm just going to say notes.txt, and I'm going to create a Python script. So I'm just going to say script.py. You can even do things like, .txt. And what I'm going to do is to add a readme. So I'm just going to say readme.md, like that. Now I'm using caps here. It doesn't matter. It does everything. So let's hit the return key, and there we have it. So now we have a new folder in our PC called our new folder, and we have 3 files in that folder. We have notes, script, and a readme.md file. So if we want to check to see if that really exists, again, we can hit ls. It's just going to tell us what's here. pwd, that's our present working directory. That's where our folder is. So let's find this folder. I'm going to go to this PC, and I'm going to go to users. I'll go to PC, and this is where our folder should be. So can we locate the folder? Here it is. It says our new folder. And if we open up our new folder, you can see we have these 3 files in there. So it means this is working. This is good. We do not even need to use the mouse. Now you can't right click and do this, or else you have to go to new folder, create a folder, and then create files in the folder. Now, for example, let's say we're looking for a specific, file, or we're trying to search for a specific word inside a file. So instead of using the search bar over here and search for something there, so if we're looking for, a word inside a file, we're going to use our select string. That's like a version of grep. So let's see how we can actually do that. So now that we're back in here, and let's go to our notes. Let's open our notes, and let's just say hello everyone, and just save our notes and just close it like that, and close that, and let's get back here. All right, so to clear content from our screen, let's say our screen is very cluttered and there's a lot of information we don't want. What we're going to do is to use the command cls and hit the return key, and it's going to clear the screen. Right, so the screen is going to clear the clutter. And if you want to find out everything we've done since we started this session, I'm going to type the word history and hit the return key, and it's going to tell us this is everything we actually did, apart from 15 and 16. So we first got our computer info, then we got our info and made sure we got the OS name and architecture. We listed our directories, moved to the desktop, changed to documents. We made this new folder and I tried running this and then I cleared the screen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an exercise. Now, I'm going to give you this practical exercise before we wrap up. So what I want you to do is to open PowerShell, navigate to your documents folder, create a folder called terminal test, and then enter that folder and then generate a system report file and then verify if that file exists. That's going to be your assignment. So pause the video, do a little research and find out what to do. If you've done that, let's come back here and let's do it together. So pause the video, don't cheat. Hi, and welcome back. So now that you're back, let's go ahead and do this together. So first, I'm going to clear the screen just to make sure there's nothing there. I'm going to move a few directories back. I'm back on my PC folder. Now I'm going to move to my documents folder. I'll show you how to do that. So instead of saying cd, documents, that's going to work. We want to use the full path here as a shorthand. So I hold shift and create the tilde key. This is going to be a saying, move to the path, the full path, but tilde is going to be a shorthand. And I'll hit the backspace and hit documents. And here I'm in the documents folder. So now we're going to create a folder called our terminal test. So I'll use mkdir and I'll call that terminal test like that. So now we have a folder called terminal test. Now, if I want to generate a system report file, I'm going to use get dash process and I'm going to say out dash file process.txt. And basically what this is going to do is to, basically create a system report file. And if we want to check if it exists, let's list what's in that directory. And we'll just do ls and return key. And this is the information it's actually given us. And just like that, you're no longer a casual user. You are a power user of the Windows PowerShell. Now, if you want to see how we can integrate this and use it in a system like Godot or N8N, leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you with the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tech Mood, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.